Chapter 1001, man. I can't believe I'm saying that. All right, let's get straight into it. Sorry for the huge bang. Somebody feel like Skip Bayless. Pretty dope chapter off the bat. It's a lot more eventful than the last one. And like I said earlier before, I wasn't expecting chapter 1000 to be this one big story changing chapter. I kind of expect no one older. It doesn't seem to rely on like those, I guess antics for like a better word. But this chapter certainly is like more eventful. Right off the bat, 9 out of 10. So right off jump, we see Luffy like basically actually hurt Kaido. Like Kaido's like, man, this actually hurt, right? So now Luffy's getting like now in the top tier, right, to where he can actually hurt when the Emperor's in. Assuming he defeats Kaido, right? Assuming that means he's gonna be like, official Yonko status, like top 4 Emperors in the sea. So, and we all seem to be forgetting that, right? Like if he defeats Kaido, Luffy is one of the Emperors of the sea. Like he has that title. So it's gonna be interesting to see. And also, I think in this area to where he's hurting Kaido, we're gonna get a sense of, because it's only basically Blackbeard and Shanks left to face, right? And we see a lot of people kind of get a Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido, basically seniority over who's the most powerful pirates like in this universe. And it's basically, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido based off of seniority, to where now it's like, if you look at the story, it's kind of, it's kind of obvious that Blackbeard and Shanks are above Big Mom and Kaido as far as like how, we're working up to this hierarchy to where we eventually get to Akainu and the Navy as a whole, right? So that's just one little note. Then Law gets everybody out of there. I made a video earlier too. So basically I made a video of like how Law's room is going to play a factor in getting everybody off the island or getting people off the top into the bottom and getting the poneglyphs out of there. Right now I'm about half right. And we're gonna see how it plays out, because I don't know how else we're gonna get the poneglyphs on, to be honest, but we'll see about that. That's a whole nother video if it is to happen as well. Then we see Zoro do the Firefox style, fire slice. So flame slice, fire slice, flame slice. And he uses Kinemon move, and he's saying that's basically it. So now we're seeing Zoro become an official kind of like, he's getting this, because back in Thriller Bark it was teased that Zoro will basically have the skills of a samurai, and that's going to be his thing, because Shanks and Mihawk, they're kind of their own swordsmen, and Zoro's identity is being built as, this guy's essentially a samurai, and that seems to be his identity that differs from Mihawk and Shanks. So we're seeing them tap into that, and we also see later how he says he needs to learn how to use Enma more and tap into that power and control it, which I think I only had practice for like 2 weeks as far as that, right? He had it for like 2 weeks, right? So he's only had like 2 weeks to practice that. So we'll see, and we know eventually as the fight goes on, he'll learn how to do it. There's been a lot of speculation that Zoro's gonna be the one to cut down Kaido, which will make sense because he's a swordsman, slay the dragon and everything. So we'll see how that goes. Not everybody's, but a lot of people's favorite moment, even with all these new moves being shown and skills being upheld, when we see Luffy, Law, and Kid take on Big Mom's attack, and like none of them flinch. The top 3 captains of the worst generation basically all just stand and playing a game of chicken to one of the 4 Emperors' attacks, right? To one of the most powerful attacks they have to offer. And then making these false faces to it is hilarious. And, it's kind of going back to older storytelling, to where basically if you want to have a hierarchy in this world, you need to have somewhat of a personality or a multifaceted personality. And we see that with Law. We saw that with Law and Zoe, and even Punk Hazard, the way he deals with Luffy. So once we kind of saw that with Law, it was like, okay, well, Law's kind of he's kind of going to move up with Luffy. Now we're seeing that with Kid, so we know like Kid is basically going to like tag along in one way or shape or form in the next war. And same thing with Bartholomew and everything. So that's basically saying, all 3 of these guys have similar personalities, or have personalities to where you know, they're most of the faceted beings. And what we already knew about Luffy, we knew about Law, and now Kid falls into that too. And we kind of see that with Killer as well later on with Zoro when they do a coordinated attack on Kaido. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic works out later on. We all know these are all setting up to be in a later war to where we see this camaraderie, to where nothing feels off base, to where, you know, when we see this attacks of the war, they're going to be, we've seen this before, which is, you know, just brilliant writing. So Kaido gets, you know, he's had enough and becomes a dragon, and then we leave it off from there. And Luffy takes his last attack too. I forgot to mention this, but Luffy takes his thunder bag around, right? And Luffy just recovers right away. Compared to, you know, in the first part of Wano, he's knocked out essentially, and it takes him like days and not weeks to recover. So basically, whoever wins this fight, you know, basically it helps your case to become the Pirate King, or helps you a lot to eventually become the Pirate King. It increases your chances by a lot. I thought it was kind of weird the first time I read it, but it can be interpreted in so many different ways. It's just, you know, they've just been on him so much about like how he's not going to be the Pirate King. Maybe it's Kaido starting to respect Luffy. Maybe, and we still haven't really gotten Kaido's backstory, so maybe that's giving us a touch into, you know, how much of a to Kaido's different side of himself, to like his personality he may have, especially because Big Mom is so one-sided, which I don't mind. I kind of like having like a very, very one-sided villain to where, you know, it's just kind of just cold-hearted, but, you know, it's not just like, the way Big Mom's written is she's very cold-hearted, but not in like the, you know, not in like the way of, I want to say like Dio or somebody like that, but Dio Brando. Yeah, man, 9 out of 10. So you got any advice for me, comment, let me know. Like, share, subscribe. All right, love you all. Peace.